few hours into flight, an Airbus A310 veers out of control when a child inadvertently takes control of the plane, setting in motion a chain of events that results in the deaths of all on board. March 23, 1994, Aeroflot Flight 593 operated a regularly scheduled flight from Moscow's Sheremetyevo International Airport to Hong Kong's now-defunct Kai Tak Airport. The aircraft operating was a nearly 3-year-old Airbus A310-300 and one of 5 A310s in Aeroflot's fleet at the time. On this particular day, Flight 593 had a rather light load with just 63 passengers and 12 crew. 40 passengers were Russian nationals, while the remaining 23 were foreigners from Hong Kong and Taiwan. The trio in charge of commandeering the A310 that day were Captain Andrei Viktorovich Danilov, Relief Captain Yaroslav Vladimirovich Kudrinsky, and First Officer Igor Vasilyevich Piskaryov. What was particularly special about this flight was that relief pilot Kudrinsky's 2 children were among the passengers embarking on their first international flight. Flight 593 takes off at 4:39 p.m. local time. Several hours into the flight, Captain Danilov takes a rest break, while relief pilot Kudrinsky now becomes acting captain with First Officer Piskaryov for the next leg of the journey. It is during this time when relief pilot Kudrinsky invites his 2 children to the cockpit. With the autopilot active, Kudrinsky, against regulations, let the children sit at the controls. Yana initially assumed control of the aircraft, during which Kudrinsky made adjustments to the autopilot's heading to initiate a turn. The autopilot, however, remained engaged. Subsequently, it was Eldar's turn to take over the control. He exerted greater force on the control column, unintentionally disengaging the autopilot's control over the aircraft's ailerons. This led to the aircraft banking to the right. Initially, the pilots were unaware of any issues, as the A310 silent indicator did not alert them. Eldar alerted his father that the plane was turning. Confusion set in when the flight path depiction on the screen suddenly indicated a 180-degree turn. By the time they realized the problem, the bank angle of the aircraft had steepened from 45 degrees to nearly 90 degrees. The Airbus A310, typical of most commercial aircraft, was unable to manage such a steep bank angle. Consequently, the aircraft began a rapid descent. Without the autopilot's aileron control, it attempted to counteract by pitching up and increasing thrust. The aircraft swiftly entered a stall, prompting the pilots to instinctively initiate a dive to regain control. While they initially managed to recover from the stall and execute a maneuver to regain control, a significant loss of altitude had already occurred. The pilots were unaware of the extent of their descent, and they ran out of time. The plane ultimately collided with the Kuznets-Kalatau mountain range in Kemerovo Oblast, resulting in the tragic loss of all lives on board. According to an article published in 2017, 2 Air Algerie pilots allowed a 10-year-old boy to take control of a domestic flight for a TV stunt. The pilots, who have not been named, were filmed allowing the boy to sit in the co-pilot seat and use the controls during a domestic flight from Algiers to Sétif. The 2 pilots were subsequently suspended. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to receive more content like this. Also, check out other videos as we continue exploring mysteries, incidents, and crimes